Hi, Facebook. Welcome to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Today's show, we are going to be talking about the market trends that we've seen over the last couple months, which has been about how long we've been off air.
Off air, yeah. It
Thanks,
seems like
Chad.
Forever, yeah. Sorry, guys. It's something that slowed me down a little bit.
Yeah, kind of ran into a quarantine situation and had to take a little time.
Yep, all is well now, though.
Yes. But we're going to go over those market trends and talk about some of the lots of things have happened over the last month and a half. And so we're gonna go through that and how it's affecting our marketplace and how you can leverage that information to your advantage. So you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. Stick around for the after show if we aren't able to get through everything. We'll keep the show going. But let's get to the live portion of the radio show here. Okay. Are you thinking about buying or selling a house, or just want to know what's going on with one of your biggest investments? Then come hang out with us for a little while. Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall, and welcome to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show, sponsored by Bricks Real Estate Network Title, Eric Bloomstrand and Chad Prevey with Bell Bank Mortgage, and James Tulson with Country Financial. I think that's the first time I said his last name right, ever. If you have any questions for us, give us a call at 651-303-0019. Again, 651-303-0019. You can also check us out online anytime at brickstwincities.com for the latest and greatest home searching and researching tools. There you will also find our home buying and selling guides from the Smart series, Smart Home Buyer, Smart Seller, where there's lots of great information how you can leverage the market to your advantage no matter what the market is doing. Follow us on our Facebook page as well, where you can watch us record live, typically on Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesday like today.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'd like to welcome Chad Prevey back in studio.
Yeah, feels good. I know. It's been a little while.
We had to take a little hiatus.
Yeah, a little time off. We had a little situation in the family, but everybody's well, and we're all back to normal.
That's good. Yes. Yeah, so, well, I'm glad to be actually back in our normal studio here.
Yeah, it's great.
Get the better sound quality.
Yeah.
Easier. I don't have to set up as much stuff each time.
Exactly.
So, today, we're going to be talking about the midsummer market and what we've seen. We haven't been on air. I've just been doing reruns now for about the last month and a half. And there's been a lot that has happened, and we're definitely seeing a very different marketplace than we typically do at this time of year. So, yeah, let's kind of dive into what our market is doing. It's acting a lot more like it's May out there.
Right.
That April, May kind of numbers that we see as far as showing activity. So in the Twin Cities, in that median sale price range, 200 to 400K, in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, right now we're seeing 6.09 average number of showings per listing in that 2 to 400K range. So that's really clipping along.
That's great.
Now, that is not our peak for the year. We were in February, early March. We were in the 8 range. But to put this into a little context, right now, in comparison to the same time last year, that was at 3.99. So we're about 35% faster activity out there with our current market. And, if you're a buyer out there, I'm sure you're feeling this.
Right.
Now, that said, not all markets are equal. There are definitely marketplaces that aren't feeling the same pressures, and there may be some spots buyers can look. And I think sellers should be aware as well, because so often if people, media, whatever, oh, the market's amazing, it's great, it's wonderful, and then somebody goes out and puts their property on the market, and if they're not in that sector, well, why isn't my place selling? Well, the question is your sector moving at the same pace? And what I mean is, like,
Good
you know,
question.
is it a condo? Is it a townhome? Is it
Right.
above 500? Is it above 800? Right? These are different sectors moving at different paces. So yeah, but for the median sale price range, 200, 400K, we're about 35% faster. Something that I was working on here during our break is a calculation that basically is taking in a few factors such as housing affordability and inventory, month supply of inventory of houses, along with that showings per listing to kind of come up with a gauge of where our market is at, kind of any time of year, anytime I want to run it to know how strong or weak, or any sector I want to do, any neighborhood. And I was able to come up with a formula. I tested it on all sorts of different markets, and it seems pretty good.
It's amazing.
And to give an idea here, it's a pretty simple scale. It's a 0 to 10 scale of how the market's behaving. 0 being a complete buyer's market, very strong buyer's market, and a 10 being a very strong seller's market. So right now, we are at about an 8.49 on that scale. So it's a pretty strong buyer's market. And I've seen markets that are even a little higher than that.
Right.
To put this into some perspective, though, at the same time last year, we were at a 4.56.
Right.
So kind of a very stable market. Maybe even starting to swing a little bit towards a mild buyer's market, depending.
Right.
So, and that's kind of normal for this time of year. So, yeah, that's pretty strong. And I would not be surprised to maybe see that tick up the next month or so before things maybe change.
Start slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
So did you mean the 8.49 means more of a seller's market?
Did I say buyer's market?
Yeah, and that's okay.
Whoops. Yeah, complete
Right.
seller's market.
Well,
Yes.
you know what I was thinking as you mentioned February, February. We started this year off great as far as inventory was looking a little better. I think our spring market started pretty early this year.
It did. Well, we were pretty light on inventory.
Well, we were
but it
still
was
light,
coming
but
up. It was coming up.
It wasn't as fast and as furious as it is now, as far as.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, inventory is really, really low. We're down 25%.
Yeah.
Right. In comparison, like last year, same time, we were, mid 14,000s listings. We're around 10,000 something listings right now.
Wow. And I think that got almost down to 7,000 at one point in March.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It was pretty low. I mean, so
Very low.
we have had some inventory, but we've definitely, if you look at the inventory trend, you can see that we have been declining now basically since May. So we peaked out. We had our maximum inventory.
Right.
And that trend normally isn't until now. We've just hit peak inventory at about 14,000. Right. So, the stay at home, that was it. That put the brakes on the inventory. And so for buyers, sorry to say, there's not going to be some huge giant influx in the short term that's going to be a relief of, there's a lot more inventory.
Right.
I think more than likely your buyers may feel relief if they're just patient. And what I mean by that is you have buyers that lose out on 4 or 5 offers, they're going to get buyer fatigue and bail. If you can be the one that keeps going and but you know what? Missing out on an offer isn't a bad thing necessarily. I mean, if you lose out on an offer, that maybe means that you avoided overpaying for the house in a sense that the offer that got it paid too much,
right?
Possibly.
And I hear that quite a bit lately, more and more lately, because it's a challenging market as far as, and you mentioned the word buyer fatigue.
Yes,
it's real. I
think we're going to save for a little while. I think we're going to wait until there's more homes on the market. I mean, we hear it all the time.
Right. But when I especially first time home buyers, they call me and they say, we're going to wait maybe until next year. We're going to save some more money for down payment. We're going to wait till next year. Hopefully there's going to be more inventory. My credit score might be better, and then I have some more money in the bank for down payment. Well, we've gone over these calculations before.
Yeah, cost of saving. The right time to buy a house is when you find the right house, right?
Correct.
I firmly believe in that. You shouldn't be being sold a house by your real estate agent.
Exactly.
Right? That this is something that should be, I mean, if a real estate agent is doing their job, they're probably talking you out of more houses than are saying are good ones, right?
Yeah, very good
and it should be a house that's is meeting your goals, checking those boxes. And the problem is with buyer fatigue is people will pull themselves from the market. We're going to save more. Well, I can tell you this. Most people cannot save at the pace appreciation goes at. And
right.
I did this for a class that I taught a few weeks ago and showed how much you would have to save. And okay, let's not use that excuse.
Right.
Maybe, hey, I'm tired. I want to take a break from looking for a little while. That's kind of the more honest answer.
Yep.
But going back to you're not going to find the right house thing, or the time to buy a house when you find the right house. You can't find the right house if you're not keeping an eye out. And so maybe this is the time to look at your priority checklist and hone in on really only the ones that are most important. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. All right. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Well, we made it all through one line.
Yeah. Well, we could talk. This show could go for hours.
All right. Ready? Here we go. You're listening to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show on AM 950. Today we're talking about the midsummer real estate market and what we're experiencing. It's a heck of a lot more like the mid-spring market, right?
It is, yes.
As we kind of missed out on the spring market. I have Chad Preby in studio here with me, Bellbank Mortgage. Thank you again for coming in, being able to come in.
Yeah, thanks, Kurt. It's good to be back.
So, we're talking about this really low inventory of homes, and really the only things that are going to slow this market up is one, an influx of inventory, which I don't see happening. Two, a rate spike. Who knows? Don't know when, if.
There's not a lot of indication showing
Right,
that.
right. Exactly. I mean, all we've seen is things dropping for the most part.
Yeah, we're historically at the all-time low. So.
A loss of a large loss of jobs or furloughs of jobs where buyers can't do something,
Can't buy something.
or buyer fatigue, right? And I honestly think that's going to probably be the number one factor that eases this market up, and just maybe anticipation of election time. Tends to always be a little slower season.
Right.
So, I think it's just about being patient. If you can get through this time of homes, and keep in mind, we experience this in probably a little shorter basis every year for about a month and a half.
Right.
That it's like, okay, homes are selling for real quick, and they're maybe selling for more than they should. And
right.
I commonly will tell my buyers, like, let's just kind of sit back and, let's wait for the Monday houses, the houses that make it through that first weekend.
Right.
Because this is where you see a lot of buyers that will, and trust me, I can show many, many examples where they will pay $20,000 to $40,000, maybe more for a house than they could have if they just waited 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
Right. And I think we're probably crossing that hump as we speak.
Yep.
And we are seeing buyers pulling themselves, starting to feel that buyer fatigue. But yeah, it goes back to the you're not going to find the right house unless you're looking and narrowing in on those priorities.
Exactly. And one thing too, I always want to mention, and I say this a lot on the show, Kirk, is being prepared, especially in this market where low inventory, multiple offer situations. Hey, you know what? Maybe you won't get your offer accepted, but maybe you have a backup offer to put in. Maybe
Backup offers come around.
they can come around. I mean, people are making decisions, sometimes impulse decisions, or maybe they have the wrong representation, trying to sell them something. So they make that offer on Saturday or Sunday, come around Tuesday or Wednesday the following week, and they decide maybe that wasn't the right decision. So,
Yeah, I've seen just in this last week probably 4 situations, not my buyers, but listings that I was looking at with my buyers that were ones that they had cold feet, and that's why they're back on the market.
Right.
Yeah, so we do see this, and sometimes that's the better route. If a property makes it past that initial bidding round and comes back on, it's probably not going to sell for the same price the next time around.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, homes are selling. We're seeing homes selling in record time right now. Selling for multiple offers if in that median sale price range. So for sellers, I mean, you could not ask for a better time, but you also, don't kid yourself. You're not going to get the same dollar amount with that flat tire and the rust spot and the engine that's misfiring than the one that's washed and shined and it's got the new set of tires on it, right?
Great point.
Right. That your house, if it needs carpet, if it has peeling paint, if it has pet smells, if it is showing its wear and tear, you're not going to experience the same kind of market that you would if you took the prep time. I had a listing that I sold a couple weeks ago that we took the prep time needed. We did the proper coming soon, getting everything ready. 11 offers.
Wow.
Right? We intentionally price bracketed it a hair low to get as much interest as possible and really float 2 different brackets. But yeah, 11 offers. I mean, we could have not asked for a better offer. Cash offer.
Nice.
Got about 10,000 above what we were expecting. We knew we'd get more than asking, but again, list price is never an accurate reflection of value.
Right.
As buyers and sellers, be aware of that.
Very important.
List price is a strategy, not a reflection of what your home will sell for.
Right.
And that's the way a good agent should be using it.
Absolutely. One thing I want to say too, even your yard, as simple as keeping the yard manicured nice and maybe buy a couple hanging baskets, flowers, or whatever the case is, because that first initial impression of that home when that potential buyer pulls in your driveway and they don't see a well-maintained property outside, how willing are they even to go inside?
Yeah, I mean, I was out just before the show here. I was showing a house, and home 15 days on the market, peeling paint, the weeds in the yard, all of that, right? It's not selling. It's in the median price range. It's right there, but it's not. The prep time wasn't there,
right.
And now it's negotiable. This is a house with a little work, should be selling for $325, maybe $350. They're going to be lucky to pull $265, $270 out of it.
Wow.
Right? So I mean, you're talking big bucks difference, right? And that's that, right? I love the sellers. A house will sell itself. Yeah, for a dirt cheap price if you don't get it ready.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what will happen. If
you
you think
don't mind,
otherwise, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah, if you don't mind, taking a $20,000-$30,000, potential loss.
Well, and this is how these, kind of instant offer companies make their money. They play off of people's misnomers. Let's just put it that way.
Right. Yep.
So, this is something that we see right now. Okay, so one, how do we avoid overpaying for houses? One, you got to research the homes. research the areas, research the trends. Is this a safe bet to make an offer? You know, maybe over listing, maybe over the trend, but what is the trend, right? Where is the market going? And so a good agent is going to sit there, look at those market trends, figure out, you know, what is a safe price. And what I mean by that is, what if you had to sell this next year for a job change, family growing, family shrinking, whatever, have to sell it? Are you going to be short $25,000-$30,000? You don't want that.
Wow,
right?
That's a great point, Kirk.
Great. So you have to come up with this, and a good agent's going to take the time doing that. Not again selling you the house, actually talking about the what ifs.
Right.
Now that said, market value and appraised value are two very different things. Appraised value is value assessment of risk a bank is willing to take.
To the bank, right.
Right?
Yep.
That's what it is. It's not the value of your home, because I would have not been able to sell that house that I did for $10,000 more if appraised value determined value.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't. I was able to get an offer above. And this is why, if you're a seller, having an agent that knows how to request or put together appraisal guarantees, or a buyer has an agent that is working to put together appraisal guarantees,
Right.
Can really help you in negotiation.
Yeah, we've done a few of those. That's being strategic.
It is. Well, it's a way that you can actually get your offer accepted and make it more valuable to the seller than somebody who isn't willing to put their money where their mouth is. So they may offer more money, but they aren't willing to back that. And that is extremely powerful for both buyers and sellers out there, especially in the market condition like we're in right now.
Right.
So, appraisal guarantees, inspection guarantees, escalation clauses, possession date flexibility. As a buyer out there, these can all be great things that can assist you in getting your offer accepted over others, even though you might not be the highest priced one.
Right.
For sellers, these help you too,
Mm-hmm.
right? And finding offers that have this properly vetting offers is really important when it comes to that. So kind of the short and sweet. Just 30 seconds left here. I mean, I do think we're gonna see trends price wise upwards, inventory declining here at least for a few months. That activity. Keeping an eye on that showings per week per listing is so important. And then we may see some ease at that point. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll be back again next week.
Have a great week.
All right. Okay, Facebook. After show time.
What do you think? Send in the questions.
Oh, let's see. Do we have any? I can check. I think they changed the look of this.
I was going to say it looks different.
It does. I'm not. Wait, here's questions. Is that where I ask questions? Yeah. So overpaying. That's one of the biggest things right now. That as buyers you need to watch out for.
Right.
And I know the agents at Bricks. They know these tactics. They do these things. This is the stuff that we discuss almost every meeting about, really serving your clients in a sense.
I like that because you're not selling them. You're serving them based on knowledge.
Yeah.
Which is, that's everything.
And the flip side of the coin, if you're selling a house or thinking about selling a house, we also know how to properly evaluate a home so you can look at what are the fix-it items that are going to get you that real ROI.
Mm-hmm.
Because now overpaying isn't our problem, right? Because now we're working for the sellers, right? And we want to get as much money as possible.
Exactly.
Right? So, it's the opposite side of the coin. That's why I love working with buyers and sellers, right? And if you're really representing your clients, you should be only representing one of them typically, right? Most situations. So
you brought up a good point too. Is don't overpay and yes, houses are selling at top value right now, right?
But not every house.
Not every house,
No.
but the person that represent you, your agent, they're doing the homework for you. And with a lot of people in our market, the majority of the folks that I work with right now are first-time home buyers. And not a lot of first-time home buyers have a lot of money for down payment. So you're putting those 3%, 3.5% down, minimal down payment options. And if you're paying top dollar for that property, and like Kirk mentioned, if anything happens in our market, or job loss or job transfer or whatever the case is, are you going to be able to sell that house in 1 or 2 or 3 years even, and even break even? You know what I mean? As far as, because you have that low down payment tied in with other costs, and buying at that top high level is sort of a risk.
Yeah. So just really talking about your goals is so
Exactly.
important. Yeah, I know Danny, owner broker here at Bricks, he brought up the point of, your agent might actually be doing their best job for you when your offer doesn't get accepted.
Yeah.
Right? That they're the ones who had the guts to say, no, this is where we're drawing the line. This is where we should stop.
That's who you want representing you.
Right? It's not about getting every house. That said, there are good buys to be had out there in any market, and looking for those opportunities. I mentioned that one I looked at that was kind of roughed up. Honestly, that's going to be a great negotiation house, and it's a ton of square footage with a little work. It's actually pretty cool property, right? And so there's an opportunity. Right. That house is an opportunity. That house, they're not going to overpay for it. They're going to get a deal on it.
Right.
So, and yeah, for the sellers who think that you're maximizing in a market and it's going to sell itself, you're right, and they're going to be the ones who get a deal on it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're probably cresting on the roller coaster. I think we're going to still see a market that's pacing along with the rates where they're at, but I don't think, and even trends are showing the showings per listing are slowing down. Right. Not a ton, but we're down in the 6s. I bet you next week we're going to be in the 5s.
Upper 5s.
And when we get to 4s, then you can breathe. That's a breathable market when that showings per listings in the 4 range. Now houses are on the market for a couple weeks.
Right. What do you say to your clients that say, let's say it's Tuesday, and they say, I want to go look at this house on Friday?
No, let's go look tonight or tomorrow.
Right. Because most likely it's going to be gone.
Or if I look at it and be like, wow, that's really high. I actually might say, let's go look at the following Monday, because either it's going to sell for more, and we don't want any part of it.
Right.
And we just became fuel to the fire by being another showing.
Right.
Or we pull back. I have what I call Friday houses and Monday houses. And so a Friday house, it's like, ooh, that looks really good. It seems priced well. Let's get in the door. It comes on the market Thursday, we're in the door Friday, or it comes on the market Friday, we're in the door Friday.
Right.
Or I look at it and it's like, oh, yeah, that's 25,000 more than anything else in the neighborhood, and it clearly doesn't look like it. Let's go look at that on Monday, right?
See if it's still around.
Or sometimes a Friday house turns into a Monday house. You get there and you're like, ooh,
yeah.
All right, well, if we're gonna make an offer, we're gonna wait until Monday. It seems weird to say, well, we're not gonna make an offer, but if there's 4 offers and you're gonna be a low one that's never gonna be competitive, you are fuel to the fire. You are making the other offers go higher. It was the 4 offers that I had on the property that I had 11 that were at list price or slightly above that made the other ones go drastically above. Fuel to the fire, right? Wow. I don't want to be that. You want to talk about an interesting strategy? If like, okay, you know what? Maybe I do want to make an offer, but I don't want to be that fuel to the fire. Wait until the deadline's up. Then submit your offer. Say, I want to be a backup offer, but we know about X, X, and X in the house, and we're okay with that. They're going to be calling you if let's say there is a little water issue in the basement, or there's the roof's getting a little older, or the furnace is getting up there in age. You say that to an agent, yeah, we know the furnace is old and we know the roof is looking not so good. Well, guess what happens when the inspection happens and those items come up? They're coming to you because you're the one who knows about it and doesn't care.
Right. You've already addressed it.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
all right.
Good work.
I got to
Mr.
run.
Duckwall.
I got to
Yep.
go meet up with my wife.
Sounds good.
She's probably watching right now like, when's he going to leave?
He's late. He's late.
All right, bye, Facebook.
See you guys. Have a nice week.